Have you ever questioned whether the life you're living is truly your own? The thoughts racing through your mind, the desires driving your actions, and the fears that keep you awake at night do not truly belong to you. What if all you've been taught about freedom, choice, and reality itself has been carefully constructed to keep you from discovering your true nature? Ancient wisdom keepers, known as the Gnostics, preserved knowledge of a profound cosmic deception, one so sophisticated that most souls never recognize they're caught within it. These mystical teachers spoke of entities they called the Archons, not merely mythological beings, but forces that operate through the manipulation of consciousness itself. The discovery that changed everything came in 1945, when a farmer in Egypt uncovered ancient texts buried for over 16 centuries. These hidden writings revealed a startling truth. The reality we perceive may not be the ultimate reality at all, but rather a carefully crafted simulation designed to harvest human spiritual energy. According to these ancient texts, our physical realm was not created by the highest divine source, but hijacked by a lesser consciousness, a false architect who mistook itself for the ultimate creator. This blind architect spawned 12 primary archons aligned with cosmic forces, 7 planetary governors, and countless lesser entities that govern every aspect of temporal existence. These aren't physical beings wielding earthly power, but consciousness parasites that exist in the spaces between thoughts, feeding on confusion, fear, and spiritual amnesia. They understood a fundamental truth about human nature. Whoever controls perception controls reality itself. The word Archon comes from ancient terms meaning authority or first principle. Yet these teachers recognize them as cosmic manipulators, beings that cannot create but only distort, cannot enlighten but only confuse. Their greatest achievement was convincing humanity that the prison they constructed was actually freedom. This knowledge was deemed dangerous by established authorities. Libraries were burned, teachers silenced, and texts destroyed. Yet fragments survived, waiting for the time when human consciousness would be ready to remember what was forgotten. The question remains, are you ready to see beyond the veil? If the Archons truly exist, how do they maintain their influence over billions of souls without ever being noticed? The key lies in their mastery of the most subtle form of control, the manipulation of thought itself. Consider this carefully. When you feel a sudden wave of self-doubt, a flash of anger, or an overwhelming desire for something that promises happiness but delivers only emptiness, where do these impulses truly come from? The ancient Gnostics taught that these entities operate like master ventriloquists, projecting their influence into human consciousness so seamlessly that we mistake their whispers for our own inner voice. They work not through brute force, but through vibrational interference, distorting the field of awareness itself. Imagine standing in perfect silence when a faint suggestion brushes against your mind. You assume it is your own thought, but what if it isn't? This is their primary method, mimicking your mental voice so precisely that you never think to question its source. Their feeding ground is low-frequency emotional states: fear, shame, envy, despair. The longer consciousness remains trapped in these conditions, the more vulnerable it becomes to their influence. And their manipulation extends far beyond the individual mind. They shape collective human experience itself. Why do civilizations rise and fall in endless repetition? Why do societies become obsessed with consumption, competition, and comparison, always seeking fulfillment in external achievements that never truly satisfy? The ancient teachers suggested that this is not natural human behavior, but engineered distraction. The Archons learned long ago that the most effective prison needs no visible bars. Keep the inmates busy, distracted, and divided. Keep them chasing shadows, never questioning the nature of the game itself. flood their awareness with noise, manufactured conflicts, and endless desires that can never be fulfilled. Their influence does not stop at politics or culture. It infiltrates spirituality itself. Over millennia, fragments of truth have been deliberately corrupted, sacred symbols inverted, and mystical practices hollowed out until only empty shells remain. Why? Because the fastest way to keep someone asleep is to give them the illusion that they're awakening. For every genuine path to liberation, countless diluted versions appear. Spiritual fast food designed to lead seekers into dead ends and circular loops. Follow this teacher, purchase this program, manifest these desires, recite these formulas. But whatever you do, don't look within yourself for direct connection to the divine source. That is the one thing they cannot touch or control. And here lies the most insidious aspect of their system. It depends entirely on unconscious agreement. The Archons cannot force their influence. They can only deceive you into accepting it. They manufacture appearances of separation, scarcity, and powerlessness, knowing that as long as you believe these illusions, you remain trapped by them. Yet this is also their greatest weakness. They cannot create, only imitate. They cannot truly control, only influence. Their entire power structure depends on your forgetting who you really are. The moment you remember your true nature, their spell begins to dissolve. Understanding the nature of the invisible prison is only the beginning. To reclaim your sovereignty, you must learn to withdraw your energy from the illusions designed to keep you asleep. This is not about fighting these forces, but about becoming so clear in your awareness that their influence simply cannot take hold. The most powerful tool in your awakening arsenal is what the Gnostics called direct knowing. The practice of stepping back from the mental noise and observing the game being played within your own consciousness. Right now, pause and notice the next thought that enters your mind. Don't judge it, don't follow it, simply observe. Did you create that thought, or did it arise from somewhere else? This simple act begins to reveal the difference between your authentic awareness and the mental interference you have mistaken for your own voice. Each time you catch a false thought, you reclaim energy that would otherwise be harvested by these parasitic forces. The Archons thrive on low-frequency states, but they starve in the presence of centered awareness. When you feel pulled into fear, anger, or desperation, pause and return to the present moment. Place your attention on your breathing, your heartbeat, or the sensation of your feet touching the ground. This simple practice severs the invisible cords, draining your vital force. Deep within your being lies something these entities cannot reach. Your divine essence, a spark of the true source that remains forever untouchable. The Archons cannot destroy it, but they can distract you from it indefinitely. To awaken this inner light, the ancient teachers spoke of remembrance, a conscious return to your authentic nature. This can be as simple as spending time in silence each day, placing your awareness behind your thoughts rather than inside them. Not dwelling on the past, not projecting into the future, but resting in the eternal present where true power resides. In this stillness, illusions dissolve, and you reconnect with the part of yourself that has always been free. Here lies the deepest secret. These forces don't control reality. They control attention. Where your focus goes, your experience flows. If they can keep you hooked on chaos, negativity, and fear, you unconsciously choose their timeline. But the moment you redirect your awareness toward what uplifts and awakens you, you step onto an entirely different path. Every conscious choice you make, every limiting belief you question, every moment of inner stillness becomes an act of quiet revolution. The invisible prison only works if you believe in it. Each time you remember your true nature, a piece of that prison dissolves. Perhaps this is why you are reading these words right now, not by accident or coincidence, but because something deep within you, older than memory itself, is beginning to awaken. The ancient teachers believed that when enough sparks remember, the entire system of deception loses its power. The game only continues as long as the players remain unconscious. But once you see the rules, once you understand your role, once you remember who you truly are beneath the noise and distraction, the real journey begins. If every thought is not truly yours, then who are you beyond the mental chatter? Once you begin to remember, once you step beyond the programmed illusions, you discover that the greatest adventure isn't out there in the world of form. It is within the infinite depths of your own awakened consciousness. The choice, as it has always been, remains yours. Will you continue playing by their rules? Or will you remember that the game was never real in the first place? The ancient wisdom keepers left these teachings not to create more seekers, but to birth awakened beings. The question now is, are you ready to stop seeking and start being?